and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get back up, get back up, get back up, get back up, get back. It's all about that warfare, boy. My soldiers take grip till I'm scared death. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm scared death, boy. Take grip. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We would not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem, tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom with an hourglass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him to let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race that made merchandise out of 5 bills. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas not to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. He gon' take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth. Nigga, cool y'all. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get back up. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm scared death. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm scared death, boy. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay daily. You should've used your...
Shalom Yahweh, Shem Yahshua Barakathon to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh, Shamar Lathon by Shem Yahshua to the sisters. This is Priest and Officer Aaron, Officer of 50, ISUBK. We teach the black, under Commanding General Yohanan Slakia. We teach that blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. Today we're going to get into the title of this class today is The Most High Just Wants Us to Have Some Morals. That's all. Man, you know, we make it like we can't have morals. We live like heathens in this place when the Most High didn't design this for us to follow the heathen. And that's what we've been doing for the past, whoever knows how long. It's out of hand now. And we need to start following these laws, statutes, and commandments. And we can get to the kingdom. First thing I want to talk about, first scripture I want to go over, and we're going to go to 1 Corinthians. We're going to do chapter 6, verse 9. And Slakia. And it reads, Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abuser of themselves with mankind. Verse 10, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. So that's basically a lot of things. Well, we all know people like this. That even when I was in the world, I fell under one of these, maybe. I don't know, but a lot of us fall up under one of these sins. And it says here that you can't make the kingdom if you're any one of these things. Now, all this can be changed. You can change your whole life and not do any of this. It's very easy, but you got to want to do it. You can't have a Christian mind and say, well, nobody's perfect, just so you can go out and keep sinning. You got to want to not sin. That's number one. Two, you got to get away from that Christianity. You know, there's a saying that General Yohana, I heard him say it before. He'd rather be a crackhead than a Christian. And I agree with that. Because a crackhead, at least when he sobers up, and he said after he done smoked up his mother's TV, or he done stole out his woman's purse, or did whatever he did, he sobers up and knows he's wrong for that. And he wants to change a lot of times. Christians don't even care. They got this fake doctrine that has been this dogma that they follow. And they just don't care because they've been tricked, I guess. Some of them know, but they don't want to change. And they don't care about the kingdom of heaven, I guess. I mean, they think that Ray, after he shoots up the block and harasses everybody on the block for 10 years and sold dope to everybody's grandmother, everybody's auntie and uncle, they think that he's up in heaven. He goes and he's in a nice place. That's what they think. But, also, heaven is a condition, just like hell is a condition. They think that they're going to go and be with Tupac and Whitney Houston. That's another thing. But that's all. That's besides the point. So let's break down the scripture. It says, this is 1 Corinthians 6:9. Know ye not? That means you don't know that the unrighteous, that the sinful man shall not inherit the kingdom, should not inherit the kingdom. That means you're not going to make it to the kingdom of heaven. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. Imagine that. You got all your brothers and sisters in the kingdom and you don't make the kingdom. Heaven. Heavy, Slakia. Then it says, be not deceived. That means don't be fooled. Neither fornicators. So what's fornication? Fornication is unlawful sex. It sounds weird, but some people sleep with animals. That's fornicating. Anything unlawful. Sleeping with another man, sleeping with another woman. Threesomes. That's fornication. You can't do that. In this world, that's a big thing. People, I had threesome. And you can't do that. That's sin. That's a sin against God. You can't do a threesome. You can have more than one wife, but you can't have threesomes. So then it says, nor idolaters. An idolater can't make the kingdom. You know what I mean? We're big on that. The Christmas tree, the turkey, birthdays, Christmas ain't Christmas if you ain't got a tree. Christians love that. I've seen churches that put trees up in the damn church. They put the tree up in the church. Ain't nobody never looked at what is that, Jeremiah, or where it tells you about chopping the tree down. I'm obviously paraphrasing, chopping the tree down in the forest and decking it. It's against the Most High. You celebrating Nimrod. Ain't nobody never looked at that in the church. Well, I guess they got to open the book in order to see it. Man, they don't open it. All they go there to do is I don't know. They some sinful asses in that church. Lock it. I mean, they take pride in sin. Christians take pride in being a sinful. I'm a sinner. They celebrate being a sinner. But there's a grace period. You can't just keep sinning. You know what I mean? And what about Christ? You don't even care, what he did for you. You're just sinning because, ain't nothing better to do, I guess. ISUPK under command of General Yohana, there is something better to do. Follow the Most High, follow Christ. Getting these classes, learn how to live. Right now, a lot of people just walking around. They walking dead. They ain't living right. So idolaters, turkey. You got to have a turkey on the table. You're praying to cross, or Virgin Mary, or idolizing every damn thing you shouldn't. All the white man's holidays, 4th of July, everybody goes to one area and fires. There's always a big trash. Somebody gets their hand blown off, or get hit in the eye or something. I know people that's happened to. I mean, I feel bad for them, but what do you think is going to happen? You keep thinking you can just do what you want and nothing happens to you. Then when something happens, everybody's wondering, why did that happen to that person? It's so nice of a person. You gotta follow the law, statutes, and commandments. So it says also, neither nor adulterers. This is big. And men and women love to sleep with other people's wives, especially, at work, church, all kinds of different places, people, school, you can't lay down with another man's wife. You can't do it. That's a terrible thing to do. You know what I mean? That's his property. Let him have his property. What you going next? You going to do? Go be in his house? If it's his property, what you going to take his house to? Quit listening to these silly ass women, man. Get you jammed up with the Most High over some tail. You know what I mean? Quit doing that. Slakia. Nor effeminate. You've seen guys wear pants. This pertains to a woman, or vice versa. That's effeminate as hell. Or, doing things a woman would normally do. You know what I mean? And that's being very effeminate. Switching. I seen a joker a couple of days ago, but last week, this joker had on eyelashes. I said, good night. Eyelashes. The destruction that, sad, man, sad. So it says also, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. Verse 10, we're going to go down. Nor thieves. Can't steal. Can't be a thief. You see some pickpocketing, you know what I mean? You see somebody drop some money, you step on it. You ever see somebody do that, step on it? Don't let, then wait till they walk away, then they pick up the money. Nah, man, return that money to that person. You know what I mean? Or stealing TVs. Back in the day, that was big. People stealing TVs. I don't know if they steal TVs nowadays. Everybody got a flat screen. But back in the day, TV, somebody break into your house. That's the first thing they're looking for is TVs. They go under the mattress for money and things of that nature. So you can't be a thief. Stealing somebody's car, that's rough, man. You don't steal nobody's car in this hell, man. People need their cars. Can't be a thief and make the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Slakia. Nor drunkards. You can't be the guy that, now you can drink. And we drink in the UPK. You know what I mean? You're allowed to drink. There's scriptures that prove that you're allowed to drink. Paraphrasing, but give a man some liquor to forget his poverty, or if he has a heavy heart, things of that nature. But you can't be the guy that drinks and gets thrown the hell out of the bar every time he drinks. He's getting into car accidents. He's running people over. He's getting DUIs. That's a drunkard. He's coming home. He's harassing his children. He's harassing his rib. He's getting into the fights with the police. Every time you go somewhere where he can't go to a ball game with him, he's fighting down there. You know what I mean? A drunkard. This is drunkard. I would like call it a drunk ass. You know what I mean? Can't do anything without being drunk. Wake up in the morning drunk, go to work drunk, come home drunk, get fired from jobs because he can't stop drinking. A lot of us, that's a hell of a demon to have on you. Nor revelers. Slakia. Let me look that. I think that's somebody who. I'm Slakia. I'll skip. Covetous. That's like somebody who you can't make the kingdom and be covetous. I think that's somebody who sees something, is kind of envious of it, says, he sees you at a nice car, nice chain, and he's always thinking of a way to desire what you have. He's always thinking of, man, I should take that from him, or he's jealous because you got it. I mean, he don't want you to have it. You know what I mean? revelers. Slocky, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. That's somebody, I guess I think that if I'm not mistaken, that's somebody who verbally abuses you. Let's look that up. Somebody who's verbally abusive. Let's see, revelers. Vilers. Yep, verbal abuse. You get up so upset that the person is the closest to you a lot of times. You don't know how to talk to them because you're upset. I walk around mad all day. I don't talk to people like that. You don't have to talk to people like that. But I know people who do that, Sometimes, your rib or your husband can do that too. They can do that to each other a lot of times. Stress of the world, you come home, you're mad, and, you take it out on your loved one. You got to watch your mouth on how to talk to each other, man. That's big with us. We used to know how to talk to each other. Nowadays, we don't talk to each other like we used to. I remember I used to walk down the street as a child and a young adult. Everybody you came in contact with, if you just crossed their path, you spoke. What's up? What's up? Now, I noticed that a lot of people don't speak anymore. And, it's sad because that's like a disconnect. You never walk past people, especially if it's just you and that person walking past each other. We always spoke to each other. You didn't even have to know them. You didn't have to know people to speak to them. Nowadays, everybody's guard is all the way up. And, there's a reason for that. But, we got to be better than that. We don't have to be enemies of each other. We have to come together with some brotherhood. And there got to be some kind of boundaries that we have that the church don't set. Church don't have no boundaries. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. They don't teach no boundaries. There's got to be things in our lives that we just don't do and will never do. For no amount of money, can't nobody talk you into doing it. But we don't have that a lot of times. More of us have no boundaries than the ones that have boundaries, and that makes our nation look sloppy. Makes Israel look bad, man, because for every one person that won't do something, there's 200,000 people that will. People will be whores for money, all kinds of things, kill you over some money. Nor extortioners. You see that, extortioners. Those are, you see that in the mafia movies. People extort you. You know what I mean? Threaten to kill you, take your block, take your money, take your car, take your woman, take whatever. They extort you, Any of those people I named, Salakia, that was named in the scripture, none of them can make the kingdom of heaven. None of them. This is not my words. This is the Most High telling you, Salakia, who can make it and who can't. So if this is something you struggle with and you need help with this and you sincerely want help, get in the school, man. Even sisters, especially with these kids, notice like these sisters cannot handle these kids. They don't know what the hell to do with these. These kids are so, they're gremlins. These sisters don't know what the hell to do with these kids. And it's sad because the man ain't in the house, or if the man is in the house, she wants to roll over the man. So, what he say, the kids ain't let the kids see confusion because naturally the man's supposed to be leading, but she wants to be the lead. She wants to have a set of balls, so she wants to lead. That confuses the children. So now the children, they just haywire. So if you're lucky to have a husband in that house, you got to let him discipline them kids. You know what I mean? Because sisters, y'all cannot control these kids. And I think is the problem is, I know what the problem is. These kids don't have any morals because the adults don't have any morals. And first thing we do is want to blame the child. The child ain't the child's fault. You ain't teaching them shit. Slack it. You ain't teaching them anything. Because you don't know anything. The adults don't know anything. So how you going to teach a child? You let the phone babysit them? You know, I mean, you got to have a phone nowadays, but it's sad. They have zero morals, none. And the adults have none, and they pass the same thing on to the child, and it just gets worse. Every generation gets worse and worse. You know, you wondering why, you know, you wonder why you can't catch a break, or you wonder why life is so hard for you. You know, well, you know, you got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Things could get better for you, will get better for you. But, you know, you wonder why you can't catch a break? I'm going to show you why you can't catch a break. I'm going to get you Hebrews 10 and 26. This is why you can't catch a break. Hebrews 10 and 26. Okay? This is why you wondering why you can't catch a break. This is why. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. If you go out there and sin especially after you didn't seen 20 niggas on the corner with boots and braids telling you that you ain't supposed to be sinning, trying to get you right, and you hear that and you just say, I do what I want to do. You know, call us Power Rangers and all this other stuff. And you go out there and sin after you didn't heard that, you didn't fired up a blunt. This is the average night of a nigga in the world. He smokes a blunt, goes to the bar or club, tries to find something, you know what I'm saying, something new, something fresh, a whore, takes them back, does more drugs, sleeps with the girl or the woman, or shit, some of y'all the man, Slakia, and that, I mean, it's just sin on top of sin. Good night. What do you think? At the end of the day, what good will come out of that? And that's your routine. Man, that's rough. That's rough. So I'm gonna read that again. This is why you can't catch a break. Hebrews 10 and 26. For if we sin willingly after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. That's it right there. You know what I mean? There ain't no more sacrifice. You know what I mean? You at that point, you skate. After you hear the truth and you still sinning like that, you skating on thin ice. And that's what they used to say, skating on thin ice. Or like you on a wing of a prayer. You know what I mean? And you know, in the prayer, Lord don't even listen to no sinners' prayers. He could care less. I don't, you know, ain't no different than if you had a child, you threw his ass out the house, and he keep calling you, and he's disrespectful. He keep calling you, you ain't calling him, you ain't answering the phone. Well, for what? Why am I answering the phone for you? Why am I going to help you out? You know the rules. You chose to not follow them, so now you got to get a butt whooping. I got to pull out the belt now. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Lord don't hear sinners. And Salaki, I'm gonna actually take you to that. I'm gonna go to John 9 and 31. John 9 and 31 for everybody to say, think the Lord hears sinners. He don't hear sinners. This is the book of John, verse 9, Slakia, chapter 9, verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners. I'm going to say that again. Now we know that God heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, he will heareth. So if you're a sinner, this is 2 plus 2. If you're a sinner, he don't hear you. I mean, so all that praying and all that complaining and all that, why me and all this, you don't even pay that no attention. You don't hear the sinner. But it says, this is the flip side of it. If any man be a worshiper of God, how do you worship God? Follow the law, statutes, and commandments, which you were told not to. You don't have to follow them. That's what you was told in church. They don't push that in church. That should be in your by now. This should be in our inward part. We should know the day we born who our God is and what He wants us, what's He expect from us. Not every excuse on not to follow Him. And they think because you go to church that you follow God. Meanwhile, that's the house of Satan. You can't tell me that ain't the house of Satan. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of wickedness going on in that church. And there's nobody to check anybody. Everybody just does what they want. Who cares, right? You know? Sinful as hell. Slakia. But it says, but if any man be a worshiper of God, follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, and do of His will, that's His will, go out, feed your people, be a priest, tell people when they're doing things they ain't supposed to do, tell them, push these laws, statutes, and commandments on everybody, help your brothers, be a brother, have brotherhood, do everything that the Most High wants you to do it. Him He heareth. He'll hear you. So you do His work, you do the work, the Lord will hear your prayers. The Lord will hear you when you, and He know what you need. He's going to give you everything you need. You know, you do the work, he'll give you a rib or two or three. Slog it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The Most High hates sinners. I don't know how else you want me to tell you. He hates sinners. God don't hate. I don't think that, I don't know if anybody says that anymore. We've been around long enough. I actually been around long. We've been debunked that. But there always still there's dummies born every day. So, but that Christian doctrine is so hard to break off of these people. It's like a spell that it's just hard to break it. Even you throw water on them, you do whatever you want to do. It just the spell never breaks. You know, it's sad. So we're gonna go to the next scripture, 1 John 4:20. Let's see what's on 1 John 4:20. Slakia. I need a reader. You know what I mean? It's coming. I'm gonna get a reader one day. 1 John 4:20. This is heavy. This is the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he has not seen? That's true. You know, you can't hate me or hate your brother or your sister but say you love God. People always say that. I ain't never heard nobody say, you know what I'm saying, they hate God. Everybody say they love God. You know what I'm saying? But you're a big time liar if you hate your brother and sister, but you say you love God. You know what I mean? But you know, people do that a lot every day. But the truth is, this is the truth, is that you hate God and you hate your brother. That's the truth. You know what I mean? But you love to get high. That's one thing. You love that, don't you? Which you shouldn't. You love to get high. You know what I mean? You love to commit adultery. You know, you celebrate all Esau's holidays. You know, this is all satanic stuff right here. You know what I mean? So you can't love God and love to get high, love to commit adultery, love to celebrate every holiday. I mean, they make up a new holiday damn near every year, don't they? They make up a holiday. I mean, there's always every month. That's why you always talking about y'all broke, but you can always come up with all this money for these holidays. You can't be but so broke. I know people who said they're gonna spend. They got a set amount of money they're gonna spend on these kids. $1,000 a piece. They said $1,000 a piece for what? Why? Why are you doing this? Christmas, they want to spend I heard a sister say she's spending $1,000 a piece on the kids. I said, damn, you got it like that? No, she don't got it like that. But when they want to get some money to celebrate these holidays, that's how the spell on our people is so heavy, man. When they want to get some money to celebrate something, oh, they'll dig up the money. They get the money. They'll put a pistol in your face if they have to. They get that money to celebrate them holidays. Them holidays are everything to us. You know what I mean? So if you love to commit adultery, you love his holidays, Esau's holidays, you love Satan. That's what you love. You love his way of life. You love the white man's way of life. You love it. Because if you didn't love it, you wouldn't do it. You would find another way, which is the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. You know what I mean? So, Slovakia. But the bottom line is we must follow God's law, statutes, commandments. That's it. There ain't no other way. You didn't try all of it. We got what? We're Islam. We're in black people and everything. Blacks, Hispanics, Native. Oh man, Islam that don't work. Let the Arabs had a God. We didn't try everything. Nothing works. But this. Following the laws, this ain't no religion. You know what I mean? What religion is thou shalt not kill? That ain't no religion. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the next scripture, and it's Matthew 22 and 36. Matthew 22 and 36. Slovakia. This is our king. This is our king speaking. Yahushua. All right. And it reads, I'm going to read down to 40 and then we'll go over it. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? 37. Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. 38. This is the first and great commandment. 39. The second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. 40. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Now, he's saying that somebody asked him, a disciple asked Christ, you know what I mean? What's the greatest one? Love God with all your heart and all thy soul. So how do you do that? Follow the law, statutes, commandments. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? Don't eat pork. Don't eat shrimp. Follow the dietary laws. Don't sleep with your brother's woman. Don't steal. Don't extort. These are all things that get you the kingdom. Don't be, don't have idols, false idols, things of that nature. Can't do any of those things. Then it says the second is like unto shall love thy neighbor as thyself. How do you love your neighbor as thyself? You treat people the way you want to be treated. You don't steal from me, I won't steal from you. You know what I mean? Period. You treat your brother like you want to. Don't nobody want nobody to come and steal from you. You don't sell drugs to your brother. You don't sell drugs to anybody. You know what I mean? You don't sell drugs. They don't sell drugs. You look out for each other. Brotherhood is a weapon. It's a weapon. But you gotta see. Sometimes you gotta see what brotherhood. That's what happened to me. I had to see what it was, and I seen this. Man, I ain't never seen this. I went to my first Passover, young man. I went to a Passover. I seen that. I was done. I was done. You know what I mean? I was done. So Yeah, so it says, these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. That means if you follow loving God with all your heart and soul and loving your brother like you love yourself, I'm paraphrasing, all the other laws, you'll follow them all. All you got to do is them two. It's like a hanger. It's like you hang something up. That's your actual hanger, the first two. Not the first two, but the most important one. And the second is like unto it. All the laws hangs, the whole cupboard of laws hang on that one hanger. So that's all you got to really do is follow those two laws. Everything else going to fall in place. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. You know, I mean, at that point, you know, you could, now you flirting with being perfect. Actually, you are perfect. If you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you're a perfect man or sister. You know what I mean? And that's what Christ commanded us to do, is to be perfect. And I'm actually pull that verse for you. Salakia. Yeah. Salakia, therefore. Perfect. Matthew 5:48. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48. So Yahushua says, be ye therefore perfect. Perfect is following the law, statutes, and commandments to a T. Severely, follow Christ severely, and you'll be perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So I don't know what they talking about. I don't even think they don't read that in church. I know. Listen, I'll bet they don't read that one. They don't read none of this. They are listen, you get into a fist fight with somebody, a Christian, when you start talking perfect. I heard this. I don't know if I said this before, but a sister told me that Christ wasn't perfect. I was a rough one there. I said, I ain't never heard that Christian say that. They be reaching, but that one was like, yeah, but the church ain't gonna never mention this. Church don't want you to know the truth. Church all about how many people they can get in there so they can get some money. You know what I'm saying? They want the money. They don't care nothing about changing, casting no demons out, changing people's lives. The only thing they want you to change is instead of you going to that church over there, they want you to come to this church over here. They pimps. They want to take your congregation so they have more money over there. You know what I mean? They ain't really doing nothing for nobody. Every now and then they might do something, but they ain't really doing no work. They can care less. You know what I mean? I see them out in the street. A tragedy happens. They in the street holding hands with heathens, praying to who the hell they all praying to? Satan. Holding hands with the heathen, praying with the heathen. Good night. Been told that we Africans, and he even go about his business. You go back to the damn projects. He even goes to then their $250,000 house. Ain't got a worry in the world. You sitting there worrying about how you gonna pay the electric bill. You in the street holding a hand with a heathen. Salakia. Yeah, a lot of this stuff we haven't been taught. We ain't been taught nothing. I sit in, I watch one class, General Muhammad class, on Mondays at 7 o'clock. You should tune into that. One class is more than you'll learn in 12 years of high school. 12 years of school. One General Muhammad class. That comes on, the whole black Hispanic, the 30 million blacks should shut down and watch that class at 7 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. But they worry about Monday Night Football. You know what I mean? Monday Night Football and all the things that don't mean a damn thing. This World War III is about to kick off, and y'all worrying about the damn NFL. You know what I mean? I like football too, but what's more important? The kingdom or football. Shit, I want it where ain't nothing but all in the kingdom. We're gonna have some sports. We're gonna have some sports. All the heathens is gonna be on the field. I don't know how entertaining it's gonna be, but because they ain't gonna be doing too many flips and all that type of stuff. But they're gonna be doing some competing, and it's gonna be fun to watch. And all the owners will be black, Hispanics or natives, and we'll just do them worse than they did us. And I dare them to take a knee. I dare them to take a knee if I'm an owner. You won't have a job. That's for damn sure. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for today. We got to follow these laws, statutes, commandments. Come back to the Most High. Get in this class. There's an ISUPK class every day of the week. Somebody's teaching something, and if you want to get the truth, Salakia, and quit, listening to all the lies. Because a lot of us, especially the men, we know Christianity. That ain't the way. We know it. But a lot of us are scared about women. You need a place to stay, and she will throw your ass out of there if you don't come in there with a Valentine's Day gift, a birthday gift, Christmas gift, Thanksgiving. You got to do all the bullshit, hand out candy. What's that? That's the next one coming out, Halloween. You get to play the game because you're afraid that she'll leave you. I'm telling you, she's going to leave. They leave. That's what they do. You know what I mean? So don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Things will, you get you another red, man. Shit. It's like here. But, yeah, we got to start. Quit putting these women on pedestals and start following the Most High. Quit following the white man. Quit following these Arabs. Follow Christ. That's who you follow. Get in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Follow Christ, and everything, your life will change. I'm telling you. It ain't going to be no cakewalk. You're going, but guess what? It'll be 1,000,000 times better than the things that we deal with in this world. You won't be a slave no damn more, that's for sure. Mentally, you'll be out of slavery. Now, you got to work a slave to put food on the table. I get that. Roof over your head. But mentally, your eyes will open to something. You say, well, damn. You'll see things that you never seen before. They always been there, but you didn't see it because you're a Christian. Christians can't see. Christians, the Lord puts a deep sleep over a Christian. You know what I mean? Listen, I was night. And when I said, got an UPK, and the more knowledge I get, I said, I don't believe I even went for any of this shit. Like, it's unbelievable what you can see all of a sudden. The smallest little things that right in your face, now you can see them crystal clear. And, yeah, so getting these classes, we got class. We're going to have class here. I think we got Wednesday, and I think it's on the weekends. But there's an ISUPK class on every day. Just type in ISUPK, and you can get old classes and get all this knowledge that the Most High needs you to soak up. So with that, shalom. Brothers and sisters, I'm Priest and Officer Aharon, ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Shalom.